Hi guys, it's Myrna. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I was thinking, I wanted to share some things with you guys, especially those who are purchasing properties. We're going to talk today about the earnest money deposit, or EMD, as you'll see it in contracts when you get to that point of buying, and things that I've learned that I did not know about when you actually submit your EMD. Once you've purchased, or I shouldn't say once you purchase the house, but once you find a house that you want to purchase, you put down an earnest money deposit so the selling agent knows that you're serious about this purchase, and they'll no longer show it to anyone else. They'll wait on you for all the things that you need to do, which will be your inspections if you have them, any contingency lists that you have to make sure the appraisal comes back correctly, to make sure that you will actually get the funds from the lender, and so forth. That list can be long depending on your negotiation skills and tactics. You send in the money. Most of the time they want it right away. So you're overnighting this money to someone. Now, what I did learn is that this someone could be the selling agent's team, which will be, I guess, their attorneys. I believe sometimes the brokers can hold on to that in escrow too. I think it's very rare, but I think your team can also hold on to the earnest money, your attorney. It's whatever you negotiate, and you can look it up or talk to your real estate agent to find out what is their standard practice. It could go by state. I'm not sure. I'm no expert in this. I'm just telling you my story. You can also get a third party to hold on to that earnest money deposit. None of this, my actual real estate agent actually told me, and it kind of ticked me off in the end. So when you're purchasing this property, if something doesn't come back that's up to your standards or in your contract, you can actually just void your contract and walk away. Theoretically, you're supposed to get back this earnest money deposit. So I thought. Here's where it gets tricky. So I think the part that really ticked me off with this earnest money issue that I had, my contract, we voided it based on a contingency. So in my mind, and what my realtor told me, my earnest money deposit in full should have come back to me. So when we gave her all the paperwork and we're like, we're done, we're backing out, just give us our money back. All of a sudden, she comes back to us and she's like, well, they want X amount of dollars out of this earnest money deposit. So let's use some round numbers here. Let's just say I gave them $3,000 for earnest money deposit, and in these negotiations that they're doing, they're like, we want 2,000 of that. And I'm like, excuse me? Why are you trying to keep my money? Give me back the full amount that I've given you. So I told this to the realtor. We're not negotiating with them. We want our full funds back. Just like we gave it to them, they need to give it back to us. She goes back to them because they're supposed to relay all the information back and forth of what goes on. But then she's still coming back asking for money. Okay, they said, what will you negotiate? And I'm like, what part of the conversation didn't you understand? That we're not negotiating this money. We want our money back. Can I just tell you, this back and forth went on for weeks. And they're coming back, well, how about we just keep 1,000? No, then you could take, and then we just keep 500. No, you're not keeping anything. You're giving me my money back, because nobody told me that getting an earnest money deposit was going to be a negotiation. So I'm telling you this as an alert. So you know, so you have the questions in hand before you actually put in your earnest money deposit. Something that you can ask your attorney. You can ask your realtor if they don't tell you this. If something goes awry and my contract is not met in full and I want to back out based off of the contingencies, if something doesn't match up, will I get all my earnest money back? Or make sure it's in your contract to say that. But our our agent kept telling us, if these contingencies are not met, you'll get all your earnest money back. Like there was no problem. And then it became a problem. So this is going on and on and on and on. The realtor is coming back and forth. And I'm like, at the end of the day, who are you working for? You're supposed to be working for us. Meaning, if we said we're not negotiating our earnest money to be refunded to us, you need to go back to them and say to them, they're not budging. They want their whole money deposit back. So where do we go from here? Either you return them the money, and give them the tracking number and let them know when it's coming, etc. Or we're going to have a problem. But that didn't happen. And this agent kept coming back to us with all these newfound ways to split up our funds. And then she says to us, well, they figure because they wasted their time and this and that. I don't have nothing to do with that. I know what was told to me, and this is what I expect. And I expect you as my representative to go back and tell them, this is what my clients want. They're not budging, and this is what we need going forward. So I'm saying all this again to make sure you're understanding even that little thing that became a huge issue in your realtor saying, well, if your contingencies are not met, maybe the offer you put in was a higher offer than what the property appraised. That could be a contingency for you. And you're like, well, I'm not paying the difference because the lender's only going to give me the amount of the appraisal. Anything above that will be out of your pocket. And maybe you're like, oh no, I'm not doing that. So, this is null and void. I'm backing out. It's not going to happen. It could be that the inspection came back, the roof is going to cave in, or you'll need electrical done, and the list just goes on, and you're like, nah, this is not for me. I don't want to put that much work into this home. I'm looking for something that's more ready to move in, and I really don't want to do all of that, and there's water in there, and you're like, I'm done. Let me back out. Just know that your earnest money could possibly be negotiated back to you, which is not fair to the buyer, especially if their agent never told them this. So here's another thing that I have learned, that there is such thing as having your money held by a third party, which means that your team doesn't hold this money in escrow. The seller's team doesn't hold this money in escrow. It's this third party. I don't know the legalities of it, but you can ask them for a third party to hold your money, which may be better off for you, because if you ever fall into this position where the selling agent and the seller is trying to keep your money, you have somewhere to actually say, no, we didn't agree to this. And the third party is a mutual party. So they're just going to return your money to you, unless there's some paperwork otherwise that says something different. So if you need to do it, go third party. Find out what you need to actually hire a third party to hold your earnest money deposit. And each state may be different. So definitely talk to your real estate attorney, talk to your agent, and just make sure that these things can be put into place. Or maybe just the verbiage in your contract that said, if I need to step out of this deal if any of my contingencies aren't met, that I get my full earnest money deposit back without any negotiations. I'm just putting this out there because it's something that I learned. In the end, I literally had to write an email. I had to put on that corporate hat of mine, and I had to tell them, if you do not return my full earnest money in full to me ASAP, because there was no malice in us backing out. We had a legitimate reason to back out of this deal. So there was no malice. There was no reason for you to negotiate my fees or anything like that. We don't owe you anything. If you don't return our earnest money back, I will have my attorney contact you, not only for my earnest money, but for distress, for the interest, just for malice on their part and anything that fell into that. So give me my money back. Lo and behold, all of a sudden money was released. There was no more back and forth. I was like, because this is not fair to us that you guys are hijacking our funds. The other thing that I wanted to let you know is that if you had to go this route, your real estate attorney does not do this type of work. So they would not be the ones to fight for your earnest money deposit back. You would have to get another attorney that's a litigation attorney. The litigation attorneys are the ones who will look over the contracts and actually, that's where you will hold your case with, is a litigation attorney, not your real estate attorney. There's two different ones. So if you did fall into the position that they're trying to negotiate your earnest money back, they don't want to return it, and you're tired of going back and forth, some people give up. Don't give up. Sometimes it's just the wording of it, because that seller's agent, they don't want nothing but to sell their house. They don't want to have to pay your attorney bills, because I put that in there. You'll also be paying my attorney fees if I have to take this to court. I put all of that in there just to let them know I'm not playing with you guys. There's no malice involved. It's legitimate. So if this goes to court, you're going to lose. So give me my money back. Nobody said that you can keep it. So just know that there are options in place. And when this happened to me, I felt so bad, because I was like, how many people has this actually happened to? And they may have been a first-time buyer. They may have just no knowledge of this industry, and it probably scared them off, and they're giving half. They're like, oh, I had to give half of my money back, and you don't. You have the law on your side. You do not. If your agent tells you that, yes, you'll have to negotiate that, no. Have it in your contract that if something goes wrong, your earnest money is not going to be held hostage by your seller's agent. Or better yet, in the beginning, just get a third-party person. Find out how you do that, because that's definitely the next time that we find something, we're definitely going to find a third-party provider that will hold the money in escrow, because they're a mutual party. They can care here nor there where this money goes. If you go through with the house, then the seller's agent gets, it goes towards your closing. I'm sorry. They don't get it, but it goes towards your closing. If you don't go through with the house, you get your money back as long as you fall within the legalities of your contract. So is there anyone out there who this has happened to? Has someone taken your money and you had no clue that didn't have to be the thing? That you could have actually fought for your money back, that you could have actually said, no, we're not doing this? Was it your agent that kind of screwed you over and never even gave you that information when the time came? Just put it down in the comments, because I would like to hear any of these stories, because I feel like I'm the only one. I have friends who are out in the market looking, and they're like first-time buyers, and I'm definitely letting them know these are some of the things that you want to do. Make sure, that your money goes to a third party, or make sure the contract is written where it says that if it doesn't go through, that it comes back. So I figured that I would share this with you guys just in case anybody else runs into this issue. I don't want anybody to lose their money if they don't have to. If your contract says one thing and everything is not met and you're able to pull out and there's no malice intent, you should get back your full deposit. Don't let them bully you into keeping your money. Don't let them bully you. So hopefully this video was informative. Hopefully, if you're out in the market and you're buying, this helps you with some things that you want to discuss with your real estate attorney, with your real estate agent, just to make sure that these things are written correctly, and that it's no way that the seller agent would even have the thought of you negotiating your earnest money back if you had to back out of the home for legal reasons. Now, with that said, thanks for watching, And I'll definitely talk to you next time. Bye.